In order for a body to function properly, the cells need to have energy. And in order for the cells to have energy, things need to be making that energy and then carrying it out to the cells. And this comes in the form of ATP and the mitochondria. The mitochondria is located inside of the cell, and I don't really know how to draw it, so we'll just call it that. And how it works, basically how it functions, is when you breathe in oxygen or you take in sugar, both go to the mitochondria. And that's how the mitochondria does its function, which I'll explain later. Then, the mitochondria also will let out water as well as carbon dioxide. What literally carries the energy throughout the cell, however, all begins with something called ADP. ADP is actually called adenosine diphosphate. And it's adenosine with two things called phosphates attached to it. And this adenosine diphosphate then goes to the mitochondria. And the mitochondria, when it's powered, provides the ADP with an extra phosphate. And it attaches the phosphate to the ADP. And once it does, the ADP actually becomes ATP, because it has a third phosphate, and this is called adenosine triphosphate because there's three. The ATP then goes around the cell and finds a thing that needs energy and releases its third phosphate. So let's say this is part of the cell, and this is the third phosphate. Let's say this is the third phosphate, and it's attached to the rest of the cell, and rest of the ATP, and it then breaks off when it's near the energy, and the phosphate goes to the thing that needs energy, and it gives it to it, and the ATP then only has two phosphates again, so it basically becomes ADP. Once this whole process is done, the ATP becomes the ADP, and it goes back to the mitochondria to get a third phosphate, because now it only has two. And once it gets a third phosphate, it then once again becomes ATP, which then comes back to the thing that needs energy and gives it the energy. And through this process, all of the cells in our body function. And that's how we basically do anything in our body.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.